This week on Channel 8 News, we have another university presidential candidate interview, a recap of the men's MIAA basketball championship, and more. Your Channel 8 News starts right now.
Thanks for tuning into Channel 8 News, the show where we provide the latest news and sports coverage on the Northwest Missouri State University campus and in the Maryville community. I'm Tristyn Clark.
And I'm Alexis Kuhnert. Before we get into this week's stories, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for all the latest news and updates.
Last time on Channel 8 News, reporter Kirsten Stokes visited Dr. Lance Tatum's presidential forum. Kirsten then met one-on-one with Tatum to discuss his background, how his opportunities have led him to success, and how he plans to establish a relationship with the Northwest community as potential university president.
I think the president has to be present in both informal types of roles, right? So there's a lot of work that gets done off campus in terms of trying to make sure that you're advocating for the university and that you're making the right connections for the university so that opportunities can be had. But I also think that on campus, you have to be more than just sitting in your office and working every day on the computer. You have to get out. And I love the idea of both formal and informal opportunities to engage. So the formal would be, banquets and award ceremonies and meetings and things where students are going to be present. But I think the other great part about being a university president is the potential to get out and just in a very casual way, talk to students and get to know them. So walking across campus or going to on-campus events or going to the dining center, going to places where students are located. And then I think there's you have to be approachable. You can get out everywhere you want to be, and if nobody wants to come up and talk to you, that's the problem, right? So I think there has to be a warmness, and there has to be a reason that students want to interact with you. Students are very good at recognizing authenticity, right? So they know if you're authentic or they know that if you're not authentic. And I think it's important to be able to, at least on some level, relate. My daughter came home over the weekend and she was asking me, how it went and what'd you think? And I told her, I said, at the beginning of the student forum, they were a little quiet, but they began to loosen up. She's like, oh, Dad, they just don't know you, right? They just have to know you before they start opening up. So I think it's important to be engaged and to be active, but to also show a genuine interest in what's happening with students on campus. I think that's the other part of this, being concerned that there are concerns. And that's something that if you're not careful, you miss or it gets away from you because you're spending a lot of your time working through meetings. But I think being present, I think that's really important.
For the full interview, click on the links in the description below or watch Channel 8 News on KNWT for more updates. We also want to mention that we have yet to hear from Dr. David P. Jones for an interview.
In other news, Student Senate sponsored their annual winter blood drive, partnering with the Community Blood Center to boost the blood supply in the Northwest Missouri area. Here's Kirsten Stokes with the story.
The Community Blood Center is in urgent need for blood donors. On Wednesday, they collected blood and plasma from Northwest students in hopes to reach over 50 donors. I spoke with Rep. Betty Tinker and her call to action to students and faculty on campus to donate blood.
We usually try to walk away with 100 units of blood every day we're up here, which we haven't done since COVID. So we're trying to build our blood supplies back up. And the most important thing that I try to get out to people is whenever we set a goal at a college or school, anywhere, that is our assurance to the hospitals we serve that if we meet this goal, we will be able to provide your blood.
The Community Blood Center needs 500 donors each day to meet area hospital needs. Just one donation can help save as many as 2 patients. For students like Lucy Chu and Logan Bogle, their donations matter to them and the people they can potentially save.
I donated blood because I liked the idea of saving people, and I thought this was an easy way, and it's at my school, so it's perfect.
So I do the double red, so basically it's like kind of like double amount, kind of. And so that's able to be done I think every 16 weeks. So it's a double amount of time of a normal blood donation you give. And so it was just time to give another one.
Without the work of blood donor staff, surrounding hospitals wouldn't receive the life-changing supplies they need.
I'm basically helping all my team successfully take blood from people by following the FDA regulations and making sure that blood's safe so our recipients can receive that blood and save lives.
If you missed this blood drive, another will be held April 25th through the 27th in the Student Union. For the stories that matter to you, I'm Kirsten Stokes with Channel 8 News.
As mentioned, the Community Blood Center is in urgent need for blood donors. If you're interested in donating, visit your local blood drives, and for more information, click on the link in the description below.
And as part of the university's Black History Month program, there is one final exhibit you can visit. The Bias in America art exhibit explores different issues including race, ethnicity, national origins, gender, sexuality, religion, and mental health. Here's what you can expect. As we're nearing the end of February, we are also nearing the end of Black History Month. Northwest Office of Diversity and Inclusion held 3 events for Black History Month, all revolved around the nationwide theme of Black resistance. Bias in America was the last event organized. It's an art exhibit put together by the art club spotlighting art that conveys the idea of bias in all forms, intending to promote reflection on the current biases around us. All submissions were made by students in regards to their idea of bias. Dr. Justin Mallett, Northwest Assistant Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion, spoke for the opening remarks, along with some of the artists speaking about their submissions and what they mean to them.
How does bias play a role in what you do and the decisions that you make? I want to thank y'all so much for taking time out to come today, and I hope you enjoy the exhibit as much as I have been able to see the first part of it. Thank y'all so much.
For this piece, it took me some time to get all the words and thoughts and lyrics for information all together, but mainly what was important to me was touching upon issues that may seem taboo in minority communities, such as dealing with stress and mental illness and such things like that, and just surrounding Blackness and what the experience can be like in America.
This is my series of prints that I designed specifically for this exhibition. There is a total of 5 prints, and each print represents one of the peoples that made the most impactful experiences in our history. So from Gandhi to Martin Luther King to Rosa Parks, and then there is Malcolm X, and then there is Nelson Mandela too.
I separately spoke with Mallett about what exactly bias is.
A lot of people just make the assumption that bias is about race, and it's not just about race, it's about everything that we do in our everyday life. So whether we're talking about race, we're talking about gender, we're talking about socioeconomic status, just being able to talk about how bias presents itself in our everyday lives, from the decisions that we make to when we walk in the classroom, who do we sit by?
Bias in America will continue to be on display for students and others in the community through March 17th in 3 locations: the Olive Duluth Fine Arts Building Gallery, the J.W. Jones Student Union, and the first floor of the B.D. Owens Library. For the stories that matter to you, this has been Tristynn Clark with Channel 8 News.
When we return, we'll be kicking it over to Bearcat Update with Skyler Stamps. He'll do Thursday night's recap on the men's MIAA basketball championship, Bearcat basketball senior day games, and more. You're watching Channel 8 News on KNWT.
KZLX is a student-run radio station where Northwest students have complete freedom during their shifts. KZLX also hosts mini radio shows such as Nerdmageddon, Revive, Day-to-Day Picks, and more. To learn more, visit kzlxfm.com.
Hey, have you been? Oh, nothing much. Yeah, I'd love to chat soon. I've just been really busy recently. Yeah, I could probably squeeze you in. Let me check. Let's see. How about Wednesday at 6? Alright, sounds good. See you then.
Welcome back to Bearcat Update, your show for all things Bearcat sports. I'm your host, Skyler Stamps. It was a big week for the Northwest basketball teams as the Bearcats had a lot on the line. The women's basketball team destroyed the Central Oklahoma Broncos, nearly doubling the score 97-50. As for the men, Bearcat Arena was a popular place to be on Thursday night to watch what might have been the best game of the year. Here's the recap from the game versus the Broncos. Bearcat Arena is packed for tonight's NCAA Division II matchup between the second-ranked Northwest Missouri State Bearcats and the 7th-ranked Central Oklahoma Broncos. A lot is on the line tonight. If the Bearcats win, they are the 2023 MIAA regular season champions for the 10th consecutive year. With a win, they would also be in contention to host the Central Region bracket for the NCAA tournament. If the Broncos win, Saturday's games become all important. Without further ado, let's crown a champion. Let's play basketball. 2,200 strong filled the stands and was the loudest they have been all year with title implications on the line. This game did not disappoint. The Bearcats would strike first with Diego Bernard's dish to Daniel Abreu for the easy lay-in. The Bearcats would take a 6-point lead after a 3 by West Dreamer, but Preston Amond would answer with one of his own for the Broncos. With an 18-17 lead for the Bearcats, Mitch Mascari knocks down the triple and scores the next 8 points for Northwest. Even Northwest head football coach Rich Wright joined in on the action, cheering with the Bearcats and Blazers as the Bearcats took a 28-25 lead into halftime. Have yourself a game, West Dreamer. Dreamer would knock down back-to-back three-pointers to start the second half, totaling 5 three-pointers in the game. With 3 minutes left to play and the Bearcats up by 4, Bernard makes the off-balance pass to Mascari for 3. Less than a minute later, Mascari said, "Why not?" Bernard to Mascari in the corner once again for the triple and a 12-point lead with a minute 45 remaining on the clock. On the next possession and with a minute remaining, Diego Bernard gets the play of the game. He shakes off Jaden Wells and slams it down for the exclamation mark ending for the Bearcats. At the end of 40 minutes, the Bearcats defeated the Broncos 65-51, capturing their 10th consecutive regular season MIAA championship. The party had just begun as students rushed the floor and celebrated with the champion. Head coach Ben McCollum has created a dynasty at Northwest as he was presented the championship trophy by MIAA Commissioner Mike Racy. The Bearcats know the work isn't done yet. I overheard players saying, "This is only one, we've still got 2 more to get," referencing the MIAA tournament and the NCAA tournament trophies. The Bearcats will close out the regular season on Saturday for senior night and have the number 1 seed in the MIAA tournament next week. Congratulations, Bearcats. Both the men and the women earned their spot in the MIAA basketball tournament at the Municipal Auditorium in Kansas City. The 8th-seeded women will kick things off this Wednesday versus 9th-seeded Newman. The winner of that game will battle with top-seeded Nebraska Kearney. On the men's side, the Bearcats will have the number 1 seed and take on the winner of Washburn and Missouri Western at noon this Thursday. Staying on the court, the packed arena honored the seniors during Saturday's Senior Day games versus Missouri Southern. Euler Possamai reports.
Last Saturday was a tough game for the Bearcats on the women's basketball game. The Bearcats played against the Lions from Missouri Southern State University. This game was for sure a very intense one for the players and especially the audience, which is full of ups and downs throughout the match. In the first quarter, the Lions had an advantage with a 13-10 score. But after a little over 10 minutes, Northwest stood on the lead, taking a 24-22 lead into halftime. Towards the end of the game, the Lions had a 7-point advantage with almost 3 minutes left to play. The Bearcats did not give up and still managed to get close to a draw at 58-55 under the last minute. Unfortunately, the game ended with a victory for the Lions with a 62-55 score.
The women ended the regular season with an overall record of 14-14 and 9-13 in conference play. The men also picked up a win over the Lions 75-64, capturing their 13th straight win and 15th straight inside Bearcat Arena. The Bearcats ended the regular season with an outstanding 27-2 overall record and 20-2 in MIAA play. Northwest is the second MIAA university to reach 20 league wins in a season. That's all the time we have for Bearcat Update. Be sure to tune in next time to stay connected to all things Bearcat sports. When we come back, we'll look at a mocktail party and more. You're watching Channel 8 News on KNWT.
Kirsten, what are you doing here?
What do you think I'm doing here? Making TikToks? And it's not about what I do. It's about what we do here. So we start with storyboarding the content we want to create for our clients. It could be anyone from small businesses, nonprofits, and organizations both on campus and in the Maryville community. We write, we film, we edit, we create, and then we wait. So if you're someone who thinks you need us, we are KNWT Creative Services.
Northwest Tower Yearbook has dedicated over a century to documenting life on campus and in the Maryville community. The award-winning organization has numerous Pacemaker Awards and a spot in the Associated Collegiate Press Hall of Fame. Learn more about Tower at the handles below.
Whoa. Oh, hey there, I'm Jonas Pilat.
And I'm Garrett Bevins. We're the hosts of Gen 2, your favorite place for all things gaming and really tech related.
Maybe you can sneak your way over to our show. You might like it.
You don't have to sneak, but you can like both shows.
I guess, but go watch Gen 2.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. As part of the Career Pathing program, Career Services hosted an interactive mocktail party to strengthen students' networking skills. Riley Westphahl has the details.
Wednesday, February 22nd, Career Services held a mocktail party in the Student Union to help instruct Northwest students on how to engage in a professional mixer. The event allowed students to practice their communication skills and learn proper etiquette while attending a networking function. I asked Jill Brown, speaker at the event, why this kind of experience is beneficial for students who will soon be entering into their careers.
So the purpose of this type of event is to help just put people at ease when they find themselves having to attend networking functions, or maybe it's they're applying for their first job and they say, hey, why don't you come first to the office and meet and greet and visit with the people. And so the point of this is to learn how to do introductions, how to put those nerves at ease, and then also what happens when they start to give you, food and drinks and so forth, and how do you balance all that and still make a good first impression. So how this is going to work is that we will do a presentation and just kind of go over some key facts, and then we actually have snacks and drinks here. That way students can truly practice like actually holding a container of Chex Mix and still trying to engage with somebody without, spilling either item on anybody. I think it's a good opportunity because even if you think, oh, I'm never going to have one of those situations, you're going to have one of those situations. And so many people, honestly, when they get there and they see them, I see it all the time where people are like, oh, I'll just go home. That looks like too much. And they shouldn't, because it's a great opportunity to mix and mingle. So it's wonderful that this is an opportunity available. That way they can try and practice and not feel, like I said, quite so nervous.
I also spoke with a Northwest student who attended the event to understand more about what can be learned from a mock professional mixer like this.
I think it's a good experience just because it helps you learn another professional side to having parties. So we worked on our handshakes, and then we are talking to new people. So just learning how to communicate and be social around people we don't know.
Career Services will be holding career pathing events like this throughout the spring to give Northwest students a better understanding of how to navigate the professional world. For Stories That Matter to You, this has been Riley Westphahl with Channel 8 News.
By attending those professional development opportunities, students can earn pay increases. Click on the link in the description below to see the full list of events.
That's all the time we have for Channel 8 News. Be sure to click on the links below to rewatch certain sections of our show, as well as some upcoming events here at Northwest.
We also want to hear from you, so leave a comment below on these stories and be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for all the latest news and updates, as well as other content on our YouTube page at KNWT TV. For the stories that matter to you, this has been Channel 8 News. Thanks for watching.
click those 2 videos on the right to watch some of our content as well as our past episodes.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and follow us on all our platforms.